Yeah, right off the bat. Oh gosh, I'm barely even into the hike. And it's just up, up, up. Oh, yeah. This trail really gets your heart pumping quickly. Oh my goodness sakes. Oh, that ain't no joke. This is a trip that I have been wanting to do for quite some time. I've had the idea for this camp probably since last summer. I'm just now getting around to make it happen. Oh, quick little load off here. Oh, just taking a little bit of water. All right, quick break. I don't have long. I gotta get going, and I'm gonna tell you everything that I've been through leading up to this trip. As we move forward, I do want to let you know Temu sent me all this new gear that I'm using today, as well as a bunch of the other items that I'm using that came from previous videos. If you use my link and my code, new Temu users can download the app and get a $100 coupon bundle for free. Also, new users can pick one of the new items that I'm using and get that for just $1. With the exception of the sleeping mat and the sleeping bag, those are still heavily discounted with my code. All right, everybody. I don't have a ton of time to waste. I'm gonna talk to you more about this as we hit the trail, but for now, we gotta get a move on. Oh, good Lord. Oh, good Lord. So I've done a couple of these Temu camps now, and they're pretty fun, pretty interesting. I think it's kind of a neat idea to take out gear that people are kind of skeptical about and test it for in a real camping scenario. Ever since I did the first one last summer, kind of had a hankering to get out on a little bit more legit of a backpacking trip and just get kind of out into the backcountry and test some of this stuff. Some of the people in the comments hipped me to a couple of brands that are on Temu that seem to be quite legit backpacking gear, and we'll be testing that out tonight. Always love this area right here. It's just really pretty. Love these. Not sure exactly what kind of trees or leaves those are, but I just always love this little corridor when I come through here. So to get here today, I had to do a 5.5 hour drive. I'm sure anyone who's done this type of drive understands 5.5 hours. It's more like 7 hours. Ooh, Nelly. Well, this is fun. Oh my goodness. Well, I knew this was going to be like this. I read it online. But yeah, this is the first one I'm seeing. Oh. Yeah, we got knocked down trees in the path. It's all right, no biggie. Oh. Oh yeah, fun stuff. Oh my goodness. Now, I'm sure it comes to no surprise to regular viewers of the channel, but a lot of my trips are kind of haphazardly thrown together. I'm usually just out overnight. I go to places where I'm familiar, and I just try to go out and make a fun video. For today, I really tried to meticulously plan. I spent 2 days meticulously planning this trip, including planning out all of my meals, snacks, etc. A couple of freeze-dried backpacking meals to make things easier, But I had what I thought was some pretty cool one-pot backpacking meals that I had looked up online and found some recipes for. Ooh. Oh. Goodness sakes. So as per usual, I grabbed more stuff than I needed, more food than I needed, more gear than I needed, just because I knew that I might want to choose between a couple of different options. Oh goodness. I saw a guy on All Trails. Someone on All Trails said that there was numerous trees blown down in the way on this path. He was not lying. However, I think it's still pretty doable. Woo! Goodness sakes. Anywho, I got all the way to the trailhead, going through all my gear, figuring out what I want to take with me, what I want to leave in the car. Lo and behold, I forgot the entire food bag. Of course I would do something like that. Luckily, not too far of a drive away, about a half an hour, was a Kroger, which is like the major grocery store chain in this region. So about a half an hour in the store, an hour round trip, an hour and a half delayed, and here I am. Luckily, I got a super early start. I was on the road when it was still dark outside. During the drive, I watched the sun come up. It was gorgeous, but it was pretty wild in Kroger. The cashier told me that the reason it was wild is because there's a big storm that's supposed to come through. Now, a lot of times this stuff is predicted and it doesn't happen, but I have to assume it's going to. Where I'm going is up on top of a big ridge, a big U-shaped ridge. In that area up there is a big cave system that is really, really cool. And I am thinking about going into that cave system and making my camp there. We're gonna see how much further I get before it actually starts raining, gets dark, all that stuff happens. Whew. All right, that's enough chit-chatting from me. Let's get back to it. They really weren't joking about the blowdown. I guess I gotta go up there, or else I gotta go down through there. Oh, goodness sakes. One thing is for sure, I think I will have the trail to myself. Oh man, that is pretty. Hopefully that's coming through. This is the trail right here. This isn't too bad. I didn't realize this was it. Okay, there you can see. Big old tipped over tree right in the way. Oh. Now this part looks worse than it actually is. That would be terrible. Luckily, we're going that way. Okay. Wow. Okay. This thing keeps getting caught. If I kind of go across like this, I think I can. Okay. Oh, hopefully that'll make life a little bit easier. Oh, this does kind of suck, I'm gonna be honest. Okay. Oh, goodness sakes. Man, this ain't no joke. Ooh. Oh my goodness sakes. Oh my goodness sakes. Oh man, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, for crying out loud. Oh, it's this way. Oh, this isn't too bad. This is just like some big steps. Oh, geez Louise. Oh. Woo! Oh, we still got some snow left. Genuinely really glad I brought the GoPro, because it is coming in handy for these tight spots like this. Pretty gnarly. I've already broken the mount for the microphone. Oh. So I'll have to try to rig up something there. But yeah, I've never seen it like this. This is pretty crazy. Pretty fun though. But yeah, the further and further I get in here, more and more I'm thinking about that cave. Oh man, yeah, it's a shame we're missing all this because there's some very pretty geology. Can you see any of this at all? Oh. Climbing up some stairs here. That's a big long set of stairs that I just climbed up. And then right after it is this really cool arch. I believe this is called Indian Arch. Just stopping here for a sec to go ahead and get some of this nighttime gear out. Headlamp, camera light to go on top. I suppose I could camp under this arch if it really came down to it. The thing is, there's no real level spot where you're actually underneath the cover of the arch. So this would be like an emergency. Wouldn't be ideal, wouldn't be comfortable for the night, that's for sure. Man, you can probably barely see me right now. Oh, unfortunately, we're missing some really good sights right now because I am losing light. Luckily, I am gonna stay here for 2 nights. So that means that I can come back out tomorrow and explore and show you everything. All right, well, I'm on the top for sure. Over here, that way is a really cool arch, and we'll definitely go check that out tomorrow. But this is the path, and we're gonna go ahead and continue down this way. Yeah, check that out. Big old tipped over tree here. All right, well, I'm walking up here. This is pretty much all there is to show you. Yeah, trying to find a suitable spot. I'll let you know when I find one. Now, I know you can't see it, but stay with me. I'm going to show you that view tomorrow, and I got a pretty strong feeling you're going to love it. I just got 2 bars since I'm way up here in the sky. It's like being on the top of the world or something. But yeah, I knew kind of what the weather was predicted for. Now we're a lot closer to it, so I'm looking. And it does look like there's going to be some pretty severe weather, so I'm going to try to make my way into that cave. I think that's probably the safest bet for me. And then maybe we'll move and try a different camp spot tomorrow. But for now, I'm going to try to get down there. Hey, bear. I know a lot of people are probably saying, this guy's a moron. He can't even show up to his camp on time. I show real camps and real adventures as they happen. When mistakes happen and I do the wrong thing, I leave it in. It's extremely easy to edit the video and make it look like things went perfectly, but I prefer you guys see things how it actually happened. All right, so here's a little trickling stream, tiny little waterfall there. And this goes all the way over this cliff here and on to the other side, down in there. is the cave and a little waterfall. So I know it's right around here somewhere. I don't know if you can see how steep that is, but I'm gonna have to put the camera away because this is gonna be quite treacherous, so I need to be careful. Okay, so this isn't quite as bad. That was all like slippery rock coming down that way. But coming in over here, this is more of like a dirt path. So, but it's nowhere near as bad as what I was just doing a second ago. Woo! Oh yeah! So up there, there's a little trickling waterfall. All kind of coming down right here. Yeah. So give me a second to look around, get my bearings here. I'm going to pick out a spot to set up the tent under here. I think this will be a pretty good spot. This is pretty flat. This looks like our spot for the night. So first up is this tent. Set it up at home. And pretty slick. So, you know, it's dark, but we can look at this in a little bit more depth tomorrow. But anyway, I'm gonna put the prices of everything up on the screen as I kind of introduce each thing. So it's got poles that go through the little sleeves like this. These are not my favorite. They're fine. They're perfectly functional, but I find it to be a little bit more of a pain to set up than the ones that just have clips everywhere. We're just gonna go ahead and get this set up, and then I'll give you like a little walk around it. And then if you just do the zipper, comes and gives you all that space, because you've got just a ton of space outside. So your boots can go there, or any of that type of stuff. This is supposed to be a 6R value. I never totally trust those when I hear them from companies. You hear a lot of different stories about how they're tested and how reliable that stuff is, but I decided to leave the foam mat at home this time. So it's just this on the tent, and then the ground is directly below. So it's not quite below freezing, but it is pretty chilly. I've got a thermometer, so we'll take a look at that later. I did this at home, and I will say it took a long time to get this mat inflated. But I took a little nap on it on the living room floor, and it was comfortable enough. Then we've got this camper box. What made me really interested was a viewer of the channel telling me that there are some kind of more legit backpacking stuff on Temu, so I wanted to try it. Whoever you are, thank you for prompting me. So I'll be honest with you, I've just had really, really terrible luck. I've tried a bunch of these different brands of pillows. You know, I'll throw up what this one is on the screen here. Of course, I'll link it and everything. You can check it out. It's comfortable enough. No problem with the comfort. It does have a valve here with a button. So if you need to relieve a little pressure, you can just push that button, let a little air out. Bada bing, home sweet home. And this is a chair from a previous Temu camp. I'm trying to stick with, outside of the specific gear that they gave me for this one, I'm trying to stick to as much as possible using the old Temu stuff that they gave me. If you want to see explanation and any of that stuff about any of the gear, I'll go ahead and link the other two Temu camps I did in the description, and you can go check those out for more information about any of this other gear. For dinner tonight, simple camping meal, a little bit of that action. This is a cook kit from another Temu camp. Woo! We don't want to repeat of what happened last time. Okay, don't care for that too much. Yep. So you can't really hear it because of that waterfall dealie over there. But it is raining. It is raining. Hello. I walked pretty far away from the camp to do this. I don't think they're super common, but there are black bear in the area. You know, they don't scare me enough to not want to camp here. Yeah, there's some pasta now. Something, we'll be getting that tonight. They don't scare me enough not to want to camp here. But I do think it's important to show healthy respect for them. Normally you would use the lid, but I already put a gosh darn tea in there. Bon appetit. So part of the problem of leaving my food at home is that food was in a dry bag. It's the only dry bag I had. And that's what I was planning on using to hang my food as a bear bag. What I'm doing instead is I've got a plastic bag here with anything that's kind of like foody and yucky here into its own separate container. And I'll clean those dishes up tomorrow. But you don't want to do that close to camp, and it's a little tricky to do it in the dark. So I've got that in its own plastic bag. And then I've got all of my food here. And that's in a plastic bag, so that's wrapped up tightly in a separate plastic bag. I'll go ahead and tie that off. And then I have the blow-up bag for the air mattress. So I'm gonna take the food and put it in there. Now this wouldn't really be a dry bag because there's a hole in the bottom. However, a hole in the bottom is not gonna be too much of a problem for us because this is just gonna hang from a tree. The water's gonna come down like this, and I just need protection from there. So yeah, now I've gotta go hang the bag from a tree. Oh. Yes! Haha, got it on the first try. Alright, well, bear bag's hung. I am gonna have this can of wine. This is a bubbly, semi-sweet rosé from Lulu. I've had a very long day, 9:45, and I got a big day tomorrow too. I'm gonna relax, enjoy this wine. When I'm done with the can, I'll take it and I'll put it back into that bear bag. And then I'm gonna go ahead and crawl into bed and hit the hay. Anything crazy happens, I'll definitely let you guys know. Otherwise, catch you in the morning. Yeah, you can see water is coming down from over there, and it's gonna trickle on down. No biggie. No biggie. I'm kind of glad I came under here because it's pretty handy. I don't have anything set up, but I know it's raining. I can hear it raining, and yeah, kind of a cool experience. Good night. There is like a crazy mist that's floating through the cave. The whole thing is bonkers. That's a big lightning storm. I think I gotta say, I definitely made the right decision. Feel good about being down here in the cave, super protected. So, yeah, I'm glad I'm not up there exposed on the mountaintop up there. Woo! Wow. Woo! Woo-wee! Good morning. Oh man, what an awesome night of camping. Sound of that waterfall is just really relaxing. Thunderstorm going all night. Yeah, that was a good night's sleep. Okay, so back over here, we've got like some drips kind of coming down, and then it's forming like a little stream basically, and it's going right underneath the corner of my tent, which makes sense why the ground is damp back over there. In hindsight, I probably should have moved the tent. This is where the water is kind of dripping down on top of it. I was thinking about putting the tent here. It's really hard to show you on screen, but this isn't the flattest area, and it's right on the edge of that cave. So I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure whether or not to move here because there's some drawbacks to being right there. And I already had the tent set up, so it's got a nice bathtub floor in it. So I left it where it was, and there's no water that got into the tent whatsoever, so it all worked out, I guess. Yeah, I really wasn't expecting all of this, but the sun is out. I'm a short sleeve. It's a gorgeous day. I had a hunch that I wasn't technically supposed to be camping in this cliff like this. I thought I remembered that. You know, it's been 4 years probably since I've been to this location. I saw a sign over there saying, don't camp in the rock structures, don't build fires back over here. You know, I'll be honest that I feel kind of bad about this. Typically when I have a hunch like this that I'm not supposed to camp in an area, even without confirmation, I would usually just skip it. But I got a little nervous about the storm last night, and the storm was really, really gnarly. So I didn't build a fire. I respected the area, and I'm gonna go ahead and get up and leave now that I have confirmation that I'm not supposed to camp back in here. You're totally allowed to come in here and explore and walk around and look around and all of that stuff. You're just not supposed to camp back in here, and you're not supposed to build fires back in here. So I especially feel bad because it feels like I'm setting a bad example. So even though I just did it, please don't come to this area and camp in the rock structure. There are countless beautiful campsites up there. Maybe not countless, maybe more like, you know, a couple dozen, but a lot. We're gonna go up there and I'll show you a few of them. But if you just come up here and you look around, you will find some absolutely fantastic campsites. This is supposedly it was a meeting ground for like an old Native American tribe in the area. At any rate, I do feel bad. However, I did respect my surroundings, which is more than I can say for whoever did this. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna have to blur this out. Somebody has come down here and spray painted a crude drawing of a naked woman and a bunch of profanity over here. You have to be a real piece of trash to do something like that. This is not the side of an abandoned building, you know? I've got a very immature sense of humor, so I'm not above finding something like that funny, but the idea to come back in here and spray paint the walls like that, God, that just makes me so upset. Please don't do stuff like that. I know the vast majority of you watching this video would never do something like that. For the very, very tiny number of you out there who had a thought like this cross your mind, please don't do that. Please don't come to natural areas, public land that is here for everybody to share, that has an ancient history, and spray paint on it. All right, that's my rant over. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting camp torn down. We'll hike out of this location, and I'll show you some of the different campsites and the views and all the cool stuff there is to see up top. You can see that in the dark is something that would be really easy to walk down, but something that you definitely didn't want to walk down for sure. Okay, let's get to the top here. Let's get up to the top. That way still got some slippery rocks and stuff to it. It's still pretty steep. This way here, you got more dirt. More for my boots to grip onto. Now I'm on the rock. Oh, whoa, jeez. Last night when I was hanging the bear bag, I fell, and I fell directly on my bear spray right here. Woo! That is tender. I can feel that when I pat on it. I've got a huge bruise right there. I believe that's the spring, but all this water is just right here for me to take advantage of. If you head up this way, this is the site when I was here last that I camped with Christian. We'll see what kind of condition it's in. This here is just such an excellent spot. Somebody has pulled all this firewood over, which is just excellent. Thank you so much for doing stuff like that. Look at that view. How gorgeous is that? And that point jutting out right there is known as Frog's Head, because it kind of looks like Frog's Head. Trying to be very careful here, but I lost the trail, and I know it's up this way. So we're gonna get away from that edge and just back into the woods. Now I'm back on the trail. Now we're moving. This here is the top of what is called Indian Staircase. This is big, long rock scramble that people come up, go up this way, and then they continue down the trail. Yeah, well, this is an awesome campsite, and it is kind of tough to leave behind, but I've camped here a few times before, and I'd like to check out some other stuff. There is other sites that I want to show you that are this way, and that is also the direction that I have to take to get out of here. So while I'm all packed up like this, I'm gonna make my way in that direction over there a little bit more. Just checking in to show you what I'm doing here. This is some serious bushwhacking. I lost the trail. I know there's a trail around, but I couldn't tell you where it is exactly. I will get back on a trail eventually. There's only so many places to go. Coming into a little bit of a clearing here. So I think this is the same kind of marshy area that I was in last time. I can hear that water whooshing. I have a feeling right on the other side of this. Oh, I see it. Okay. Yep. Okay. Ow. This is that little pool of water, little spring coming out of there. So I'm going in the right direction. It's pretty cool. Right in the middle of this rough trail here. Just a big old tipped over tree. All right, now I think this is the last chance for water here. I'm going to continue up the trail here, and then I'm going to set my bag down somewhere close by and explore a little bit further, because if this is the closest place for water, then I don't want to go too much further past it. This is another great spot here. I apologize, I keep passing spots and not filming it, but yeah, this is a really comfy spot here right along the trail. I left my pack and my camera back that way. I'm definitely the only person here for sure. Yes, I'm not super worried about it, and I will go back and get it. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of show you a bit more of the spots. All right, this is another awesome spot. Just back up off the trail here. This is all that cleaned out area can be for tents, and then hikers just kind of maintain these little benches, just stacked up logs. A nice little fire pit that could use a little cleaning up there. Decisions. I remember there being a lot more campsites in this. And this is national forest land. With a few exceptions, you can basically camp anywhere. If I wanted to just go camp right there, that's perfectly legal and allowed. Obviously, you can't camp by the rock structures. I think there's a rule about camping within a certain distance of a body of water. So there are some rules surrounding them. I need to refresh myself. But other backpackers come back here and they just kind of set up specific campsites like that. And I just usually utilize those because you keep a little bit less pressure off of the forest by not camping willy-nilly in every single spot. Coming back off the trail here, this is another really cool spot, and the camera's probably not showing it great, but you do have that view right over there. A couple of logs to pop a squat on, a little bit of space back over here. You could fit a couple tents here. You can see this is where people have been having a fire. Of course, it's best to you know, get some rocks around it, obviously. Yeah, and just a couple of steps away, you got this pretty cool view. You can go in there a little further if you choose. It's a really cool spot right here. I don't think this is a camp spot. This is like a lookout spot. I've seen people camping here before. I saw a dad and his daughter camping right in this location before. Typically I wouldn't do that because I would feel like it was a bit rude because this is right on the path. I don't know, it's probably fine if you don't mind people walking through your campsite the entire time. But man, look at that view. Okay, I was wrong. This is where I saw people camped out, not the previous spot. Take a look-see around here. Okay, well, I think I decided on where I'm gonna stay. I like that one camp spot, and it puts me over this direction. Gives me a little bit of an easier hike out. There is one last super cool lookout point. This big, huge arch, natural rock structure, crazy looking thing that I really, really want to show you. However, it requires quite a bit of hiking away from the campsite I'm going to be staying at. I'm going to go back, I'm going to set up camp, and then on the way out tomorrow, I'll stop by that location and I'll show you guys all around it, so you have something to look forward to in the video. Also, I think I explained it, but this plastic clip for the mount for the mic broke, and I've had to keep jury rigging it up. So that's been a annoyance on my trip. I think we're gonna go ahead and take this spot. This is awful comfortable. It's in the right direction of where I need to be. So I'm gonna try to go ahead, get camp set up, have myself an early dinner, make sure I got plenty of water, go back, fill up the whole 9 yards, see if I can catch the sunset, which is gonna be right over here, and then relax for a little bit around the fire and see if I can get my butt up early enough to head over to that beautiful viewpoint and watch the sun rise over that way. One time years ago that I was here, I walked over to that viewpoint around dawn and took a look, and just the mist coming up through that valley was just absolutely breathtaking. I'd like to really try to see if I can get up tomorrow and record that for you guys so you can see it. Then on the way out, I'm gonna make a detour and head by Adina Arch, which is a really pretty arch rock structure with an incredible view. I have to make a bit of a detour to get over to it, but yeah, that's the plan. So without further ado, let's get camp set up. All right, so I want to make sure that I go through all of the items that Temu is giving me an opportunity to discount for you and have you pick those out, and what they sent me for this specific trip. So this is the tent. I do not mind this tent at all. I think this is a very good tent. Now, I haven't really tested the waterproofness on it, so I've taken the poles out and I'm storing the poles separately, which is what I do with a lot of these types of tents. The body of this tent is freestanding, the fly is not. I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. This is a 3-pole system. So you got 2 long poles that crisscross. So this is what I have found has been kind of like the easiest way to set this tent up, is to get all the poles in first. So you've got a cross pole, a shorter cross pole that goes across, so it'll kind of widen the tent out a bit. We get both of these set on this side, and then come over here, push those in like that. You can see the tent kind of taking shape now. Beautiful. So once the fly goes over, you may not be able to see this very well, but it's much wider at this end, and then it kind of tapers down to where your legs go, because you just don't need as much space down there. So when you're inside the tent like this, you can lay here, and then you've got all of this room for your pack and all of your gear to be over here. A bunch of little pockets and stuff in here too, and then one hook to hang something on. And then 2 of these little loopies in case you want to keep your screened body open. We're not going to be doing that today. So this is freestanding. Once we get the fly on there, I won't be able to pick it up and move it like that. So go ahead and position it how you want it. I'm going to put it right here. And then it comes with these just like super basic shepherd's hooks. These aren't the greatest, but they do get the job done. That is a good looking tent. Looking pretty good. Yes, it is dirty, but that's okay. Got a pretty nice pitch on this here. It's got all these nice little vents. I would prefer if this door was also mirrored on this side. I think that'd be a big improvement. But it's a light tent and it seems to be pretty well constructed. I don't see loose threads or anything like that. So I'm pretty happy with the tent overall. Nice big bathtub floor here. I was directly on a puddle last night and I didn't get any water inside of the tent. So this is another one of my featured items. This is not one that you can get for $1. However, my code does give you a discount on it. It's supposed to be a 6 R value mat. I cannot attest to that. However, I can say it was comfortable and I wasn't cold. It does come with a inflatable kind of stuff sack dealy here. All right, so here's the mat, and you can see it kind of tapers down by your feet here. Typically, I don't like this horizontal baffling. I prefer the vertical baffling. I think it's a lot more, makes things a lot more comfortable. But this does have kind of like some dimpling, and I think that helps it to just kind of be a bit more flat feeling. Overall, even though it's baffling's not in the direction I like, I do have to say, I think this was a very comfortable mat. I was really happy with the sleep that I got on it last night. All right, now this is the camper box sleeping bag. This is another one of my featured items, but this and the sleeping mat are both not ones that you can get for $1. However, they are both generously discounted with my code. This was incredibly warm. Now, we only got down to about 42 degrees Fahrenheit. That is not that cold, but I can tell I had the ability to go a lot colder with this thing. As far as what it says that it's comfort rated at, I mean, it's in the teens somewhere. I'll put a screenshot up. I would bet you that you could do 30 degrees in it.
Hey guys, Editing Sam here. I just wanted to check in real quick and let you know that after the conclusion of this trip, I'd used this sleeping bag in a winter camp in that bubble tent. It got down to 37 degrees Fahrenheit inside that bubble tent, and I was perfectly comfortable. That is the lowest temperature that I have tested the sleeping bag out, and it was quite comfortable at that temperature. Okay, back to the video.
I don't care for the stuff sack that much. I wish that there was some kind of compression associated with it, and there is zero. It's just a bag. So it can, this is a down sleeping bag, and it can compress a lot. You can see there. You need kind of like a strap or a girdle or something to go over top of it that can compress it, or you need to just move it into a completely separate stuff sack. Otherwise, very, very comfortable. It'd be nice to have some kind of a grab handle down here to pull this out, but it's not that necessary. It comes right out. There's a mesh pocket inside here to put your phone. There is a hoodie kind of top, and there's a drawstring here. You can cinch it up like so. I forget what this is called, but it's like a insulated collar that goes around your neck. I think this is a pretty reasonable sleeping bag for what it costs. Another one of my featured items were these microfiber towels. I see a lot of other backpackers using them. I brought them with me. I never actually used them. I was going to use them just in case to wipe down any condensation on the tent. Or maybe to do my dishes with the other one. I didn't end up using them, but this is another one of the items that you can get for $1, along with the tent, if I didn't mention that. Another one of the featured items here is this tiny little pillow. I've had terrible, terrible luck with these pillows. So far, I slept with this with one night, and you know, it didn't start deflating on me, so that's good. It was comfortable enough. So you can pull that all the way open if you want to deflate it. But if you just want to let a little bit of air out, there's a little button there. And you can deflate it just a little bit. Bada bing. Take the gloves off for a second. This is a little strap here that loops around like this. It's a little bit of a loop. And then there's a little carabiner. And you can just hang that right off of your belt loop. So an axe or a hatchet could go in there quite nicely, or, and I think this is what they're primarily intended for, is your gloves. Something you'll be taking on and off quite a bit. Can just hang right on the edge there. And then the last thing here that I need to talk to you about is the backpack. This is a 60-liter pack. You've got a bottom compartment where a lot of people will put their sleeping bags. We've got 2 cinch straps on the back, on the bottom here, and this is how I've been carrying the tent fly and the tent body in its own bag. Water bottle pockets here. Now these are quite small. Now if you have a smart water bottle or something comparable, skinny, that will fit in there just fine. If you have like a Nalgene, there's 0 chance it's gonna fit in there. So you wanna put something long in the side. It's a compression strap on the bottom and on the top. So if you wanna carry an axe or a saw like this, you can kind of securely snug it into place on the outside. I also have an umbrella for my tripod that I've been carrying on the side like this. The lid has a nice deep pocket, along with an interior pocket here. Tons and tons of storage. And then an open exposed outer pocket. I've been keeping my first aid kit, along with some other items that I need to get to quickly, toilet paper and stuff like that, just in case I need it quickly. I don't want to rummage in the bag for it. That has a compression strap on it as well. Pack is frameless. Every pack, this is the 3rd backpack that I've gotten from Temu, and they are all frameless. I didn't see that it said that in the description. I typically like to have a frame on the backpack, but I was able to get up here just fine, and I stored some rigid things along the hydration sleeve, which is on the inside. Yeah, so it does have a hydration sleeve along with these little loops so that you can hang the hydration sleeve on the inside. I never use hydration sleeves, but I do use this internal pocket to put a cutting board, and even that cutting board gives me a little bit of rigidity and structure. Oh shoot, I didn't even realize this. Look at this. I didn't even know it could do this. Wow, that is really handy. You have a 2-way zipper, and that allows you to access all of the interior of the pack. Now that is pretty cool. That gives it almost like a duffel bag feature. And I almost forgot. Essentially like a space blanket, but it's in the shape of a sleeping bag. Just in case that sleeping bag wasn't cold enough, this was the item that I brought to add some extra warmth to it. If you are taking a sleeping bag out and you're not 100% sure, or for any reason, this is such a tiny, tiny item that you can really throw into your pack, and it can really save you if you get yourself into a sticky situation. This is one of the items that you can get for $1. But for now, I'm gonna head over, I'm gonna fill up these 2 liters of water. I'm gonna come back here, gonna make my dinner. I'm gonna build myself a nice little fire so I can relax around it. I got a few drinks to have, so I'm gonna enjoy that. We'll see if I can't catch that nice pretty sunset over yonder. Then I'm gonna have myself a nice relaxing night before I get up in the morning and try to show you guys the sunrise. But before I do any of that, I'm gonna take a little nip. Woo! All right, that is Woodford Reserve. I took a lot bigger of a swig off of that than I was intending to. I got a feeling we might be in for a long night. All right, everybody, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, I'm about to turn over to go to that spring, but I just noticed this puddle. There's genuinely nothing wrong with filtering that water and drinking it. I'm not going to, just because the other spring is right around the corner here, and I think it'll just taste a lot better. But I may come back and do my dishes over here, so we'll see. It's hard to explain if you haven't really done this type of thing, but sitting here, listening to the tiny little waterfall, kind of a babbling brook, fresh spring water, filtering it into my water bottles. This is my happy place. All right. I've got 1 dirty liter. I've got 1 filtered liter. I got a pot full of unfiltered water that we'll take back and see how much I can get back to camp without spilling. I drank 2 full liters of water. So I shouldn't need to come back here tonight. Time to grab up all this stuff, put it in the backpack, and head on back to camp. Whew. cut all the water back. Oh, goodness. Fun stuff. Someone has already batoned up some small starter sticks. So that'll be pretty handy for us. Some foil, some labels. Old Forester. All right, I just came out here to take a look at the sunset real quick. Can't see much of it, but still a pretty sight nonetheless. I'd be real careful because there is a fairly sheer cliff face right in front of me. So got my hand on a tree and I'm just being careful here. But yeah, I figured I might as well show you guys this view. It is just really pretty out here. Well, I stopped what I was doing to mess with the fire, and as you can see, going quite well. I gotta get these leaves away from it, but do have a threat of some rain coming in, so we'll see what happens here. I want to get this tarp up right now, though. Oh. This is Chardonnay from Woodbridge. Tastes like Woodbridge. Alright, so this is our base for meal number 2, dinner number 2. Take our mashed potatoes, we're going to dump it all in there. Plenty of bacon. Montreal steak spice that I had in the car. Crispy fried onions. Chopped green onions, which would have went really well in the mac and cheese last night, actually. I intended for that. May not look like the most appetizing thing, but I have a lot of faith in it. Alright, moment of truth. Hard to be mad at that. And that's the winter. That rain seems to mostly be past. It did not completely kill my fire. I do seem to have some embers left. So we're gonna see if we can build this sucker back up. First try. I'm gonna have this Sutter Home White Zinfandel. If you watch my channel, I usually have beer. I'm normally doing shorter trips with shorter hikes. Yeah, this one required a bit of hiking to it. So I find when you are actually gonna cover like some real distance on the trail, canned wine or a disposable wine, single servings like this, for the weight and everything and what you get out of it, I think it works really well for this type of trip. Still a little bit hungry, so I'm gonna try this Lara Bar fruit and nut cashew cookie. Ooh, look at that. That's really good. Well, it looks like one little last splatter of rain here. Okay, well, I just realized that I left my coat up in this little crevice up here. I put it up there while I was breaking down camp earlier. It started to get chilly, and then I finally looked for it. Man, I would leave my head behind if it wasn't screwed on. Oh. Woo. That's it. Always a great feeling. Oh, all right. Good night, everybody. I'll catch you in the morning. Good morning. Well, aren't I at sight this morning? That was a really pretty view. I think it's time to head back to camp and get some breakfast. All right, so for breakfast here, I'm doing this summer sausage. The whole thing here is 600 calories and should be just the energy boost I need to get back to the car, and it also allows me to avoid cooking. Breakfast is done, coffee is done. I've got this water left. I'm gonna go ahead and drink that down. I've got a full unfiltered liter, and I think we're gonna go ahead and dump that on the fire. I do have a filter with me, so I can filter drinking water on the way out if I need to. But I'm gonna get camp torn down, and then I'm gonna hit the trail, and I really wanna show you guys that arch that is around the corner over here. So give me a second to get this all packed up, and we'll hit the road. And this is another campsite that I didn't get a chance to show you guys in the light. Very nice site. Got a lot of trees up here, but still a very good view. It's another camp spot facing away from the cliffs. And this is yet another camp spot. Really nice camp spot with 360-degree views here. And then there's this one here. This is yet another one. Right on the trail here. Right over at the front of it, you got this crazy view. I mean, that is something else. And that's the trail to get the heck out of here. But we're gonna continue this way. Here's that big old tipped over tree that I passed in the dark on the first night. And getting pretty close to the arch now, but this is another camp spot. Nice, big, open area with some wonderful views. Woo! Look at that. Yet another one. I left my pack on the trail back there just a little bit. Yeah, I just brought the camera equipment with me. Anyway, here it is. Hope you enjoy it. This is cool. Man, this is pretty cool. Oh, guys, that's gonna do it for me. I'm gonna hike my butt out of here and maybe even swing by and grab some Miguel's pizza. I hope you all enjoyed this one as much as I did. I had an absolute blast making this video. I want to send a big shout out to every single one of you who watches this video. You all make it possible for me to do this. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do these trips. If you liked what you saw and you'd like to see more, I would greatly appreciate it if you would click that banana. We're going to catch you on the next one, everybody. Bye now. Little bonus clip during the daytime. This is Indian Arch, it's called. Very pretty. All right. Later, everybody.